What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Up Tempo Podcast. It is great to have everybody with us tonight. We have our two co-hosts, Dalton Garrett and my boy Dalton Lane. I am your host, Blake Lane, and we are coming to you tonight to talk a little bit about me and D Lane's national title trip down to New Orleans, getting to see Kansas cut the nets down. A magical game between Kansas and UNC. And then we were going to talk a little bit about LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers missing out on the NBA playoffs. And LeBron leaving the court last night with about 20 seconds left. And I want to get each one of these guys' thoughts on that. And then we are going to kick it over to DG and let him talk a little bit about the Masters and give his picks. I'll throw the guy that I'm taking out, and we will discuss that tonight. So like I said earlier, man, I really appreciate you guys joining us tonight. And D Lane, I want to kick this thing off, man, with, I want to come to you and just ask you about your national title experience down in New Orleans, man. Tell us everything, what you thought about the trip to New Orleans and the game that you got to see. Just an absolute thriller that we got to experience. And just talk about a little bit about the atmosphere down in NOLA.
All right. Yeah. I about to say, I'm pretty sure you know, but that was my first ever college basketball game. So it was the national championship. That's pretty wild to think about for your first game. So I kind of pictured, it being New Orleans, and we're only, what, 2.5 hours from New Orleans. We've been there a couple times, but just like the atmosphere, like all the kind of like the events they had set up in New Orleans. I mean, New Orleans is, it's known for its Mardi Gras, so it's a big party, party city. And but yeah, just like the events and stuff that they had set up, like the concerts, the games all over the place, just a lot of fun stuff to do outside the arena before the game. And but yeah, that was it. It's definitely an all day event that definitely sports fans need to experience at least once. And but I mean, we'll definitely be experiencing it hopefully next year in Houston. So,
Yes.
but just when it comes to the game, man, it was an all around great game. I mean, the first half, I thought I thought it was going to be a blowout, and I thought it was going. I mean, I wanted North Carolina, and I thought that it was going our way. I mean, we went into the half up 13, and I felt good. Caleb Love, Manic, he was playing. Played a great first half. I think he had like 9 or 10 in the first half,
Mhm.
but that second half, man, I mean, it's seeing the defense live that Kansas played. I mean, this is completely different. I mean, like you see on TV, like good defense, and you're like, man, like that's, like they're playing good defense. But when you see it
Yeah.
live, I mean, it's crazy, like the defense that Kansas actually played, like seeing it in person in that
No
second
doubt.
half. And I mean, and then you got, Remy, the big shots, down the stretch. I mean, the little Kyrie step back that he had. I mean, that was just huge. And I'm just an all around, great experience from my first ever experience in a college basketball game. So it's definitely a cool thing to see, watching somebody win a national title and cut the nets down and the one shining moment. And but yeah, man, it was a blast. It was.
Yeah. So, we got off work early Monday morning, met up at my place, and we got ready and we scooted on down to New Orleans, man. And we get down there and we park in this parking garage, right at the Holiday Inn, and they're like, "Hey, it's $25 to park, right?" So, like, you pull your ticket, you leave it on your dash, and when you go to leave, you'll pay, right? So we get out. We're like, "Hey, man, we're starving. Let's go get something to eat." So we walk down, and like CBS is setting up this pregame network show and all this, and they got the tip off tailgate, and we're trying to find somewhere to eat. Every place we go into is like a 45 minute to an hour wait, and so we finally go into this place. What was it, Dalton? The Grand
Yeah,
Isle.
the Grand Isle.
Yeah, the Grand Isle seafood restaurant, and we get in there, we eat oyster plate. I think Dalton got the fish plate, and it was delicious and really good food. That's what we expected out of New Orleans. And so we get done there, and we walk down and to the convention center, and we go to Fan Fest. All right, so we get in free at Fan Fest, and we walk in, bro, and so like we're like, oh yeah, we already got tickets to the game, so we get in free. All we got to do is just fill out the waiver. So we fill out the waiver. We go to the metal detectors to get into Fan Fest, bro. We do it all. Once we get there, they're like, oh, do you have your tickets? And we're like, yeah. So I like pull up my phone. I'm like, here's the tickets. She's like, no, do you have tickets to Fan Fest? And I was like, no, I have like national championship game tickets. She's like, no, 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 no. Like you got to have Fan Fest tickets. Like, so you have to go all the way back out to the front and like show your national championship tickets to get your Fan Fest tickets. So we wasted all that time. I mean, so we go back out there, sit in line again, get our tickets, come back, and I mean, we're walking through Fan Fest, man, and they got wiffle ball, they got around the world, they got they're playing 50 on this court. I mean, they had 50 people playing 50. All right. And we put our predictions on a couple guys and they come up short. But I mean, it was a blast sitting there watching these dudes just shoot threes and getting the deflections and trying to put them back. And I mean, it was a blast. And they had the Final Four store with Villanova and Kansas, Duke, and UNC. I mean, trying to get a t-shirt in that place was a madhouse. But we did that, and then we got done there, and we walked down the street in New Orleans, and we find this donut place. And D Lane gets some Snicker loaded donut that
Yeah.
just looked absolutely delicious.
Mm.
All right, and I mean, was it legit?
Yeah, I mean it was to me it was better than Krispy Kreme. It's one of those like licking good places. I don't know if if any of our listeners have ever been to Licking Good, but it was like a Licking Good. To me, it was better than Licking Good donuts. But yeah, it was a Snickers donut, and I mean, it tasted like the candy bar. I mean, you can't go wrong with a Snickers. So
I mean, it looked like an absolute heat piece. All right, and he had a little chocolate. Yeah, he had a little chocolate milk with it. DG. All
yeah,
right, so and then we get done there and we go to the tip off hangout, the pregame, and they had the big concert set up, people shooting hoops and the kids and all that stuff. And they had a little North Carolina versus Kansas trivia. And then, we start making our way inside the stadium, get a little Smoothie King, and we sit down and we start watching warm-ups and just experiencing it, man. This was my second national title game. I got to go back to the Anthony Davis Kentucky team with Coach Cal, and when they beat Kansas, that was a special one, and getting to witness this one and the game, man. Like the tip off, I recorded everything, and I got the starting lineups for North Carolina and Kansas, and just that opening moment, you're there. It's like, man, we're really at the national championship game. Like this is crazy. And as far as the game went, man, like I said it on the last episode when I was breaking down the Natty. North Carolina's legs had to eventually give out, right? So they've been playing a 6-man rotation this whole tournament. And I think it finally got to that point where their legs just give out on them. I mean, the second half, man, they were up 15 and Kansas's defense, and it just felt like every shot was just a little short. It was just coming up a little short, and that they didn't have the legs that they had the previous 5 games. And I actually saw a tweet by Doug Gottlieb that said, "Hey, Duke actually beat North Carolina tonight. Duke beat North Carolina tonight, not Kansas, Duke, because North Carolina had to absolutely exhaust themselves to get by Duke in that semifinal, in that Final Four game." And you saw it from Brady Manick. he come out 3 for 3, just right out the gate from 3. I said, man, this is going to be a long night for Kansas. He was hot, and then it's just like he disappeared in the second half. I mean, I don't know. And then Baycott with the floor collapsing on him, that was weird. He ankle finally it looked filthy, looked nasty. But like Dalton said, Remy Martin, man, he put on an absolute clinic in closeout time when Kansas needed him, and he hit big shot after big shot. And North Carolina just Caleb Love, 5 of 24. He was out there hobbling in the second half. He was limping around the court. They didn't, hey, they've been playing a 6-man rotation, man. You don't have nobody else to put in there. So, North Carolina gave it their best shot, come down to a last possession. They throw the ball out of bounds with 4 seconds left. Kansas inbounds the basketball with a great set. They run a little pick, send a guy up the side baseline, and they get the ball in, and then he dribbles out of bounds. And so, just crazy. North Carolina gets a final shot with 4 seconds left, and Brady Manick slips over in the corner. They can't get the ball to him. They force one to Caleb Love, and he jacks it up, and it falls short. And you hear 70,000 people, man, in the Superdome. Everybody go, oh. And then you hear this one tiny section from the bench, from the Kansas bench, erupt and go crazy. It was a surreal moment because you just hear these 12 to 15, 20 people on Kansas's bench erupt. And there's 70,000 people in there, and it goes completely quiet. And you hear this little small group go crazy. And then the confetti went off. I was a little disappointed in the confetti this year, man. They did it from the floor, and they shot the streamers up and all that. Kind of weak. The last time I was there, man, they shot fireworks from around the Jumbotron and just blew the confetti out. And I like that a little bit better. I was a little disappointed in the celebration with all that. And then one thing that really stuck out to me, and I really liked, was Bill Self lost his dad 2 months ago. His dad passed away, and I know, like, him standing up there on that stage talking to Nance and all his players around him. He held it in, man. Like his emotions, he bottled it in. But what he had to be feeling Monday night with losing your dad, and then you're on that stage and you just won a national championship, and your dad wasn't there physically to see it. I know there had to be I know he had to just absolutely break down in that locker room. I can't even imagine it. And then, you get on TikTok and you see clips of Kansas, like at halftime, bro, they had players riding around on the cart like Marshawn Lynch in the tunnel in the Superdome. And they were like, hey, bro, we're down 15, but we don't care because we're in the Natty. Like, there's still 20 minutes left, I thought that was so cool to see. Like, they were so relaxed being down 15. And, I didn't want Kansas to win. We were pulling for UNC, but after you see all this stuff and Christian Brown and all them, man, just so relaxed, and the game that he had couldn't be stopped in the second half. Dude was getting easy buckets. Just driving smooth down the lane and finishing with the left, the right, hitting pull-up jumpers, just rebounding. He was doing it all, man. And it was just special to see. And then, D-Lane, he confronts a guy in the Holiday Inn parking garage, Villanova fan, almost gives him a 2-piece with a biscuit. Yeah. Did you hear about that, DG?
No.
So, all right. So we leave the Superdome. We walk back to the Holiday Inn parking garage where we parked. So their gate is like down, and somebody like locked it up, bro. So like it was like it looked somebody that had like hit the gate and it broke, and then somebody just master locked that hoe to the chain. So there was like no way you could pull it up or anything. So people couldn't get out of the parking garage. So these cars were like 20 cars deep up the parking garage, right? So me and Lane, like, we talked to the security guard, and we're like, hey, bro, like, get us out of here, get this gate up. And he basically looks at us and he's like, hey, there's nothing I can do. So we're like, what you mean? Like, there's nothing you can do? Like, these people got to leave, bro. Like, but we got to go back home, you know? And he was like, so D-Lane was like, hey, I'll just cut the lock. Like, you give me a Metabo blade, I'll just cut it. And he's like, so what, you're going to pay for the damages? And D-Lane was like, what damages? And he was like, it's a master lock, bro. He's like, costs $10, you know? And so he's like, nah, we ain't doing that. I got to find the key. So we're like, you got to find the key. Like, you don't have the key? And he's like, no, I don't have the key. He's like, I don't know where the key's at. And so we're like, what is going on here? So this elderly man gets out of his car and everything. He had been kind of chilling with us. He walks to the front desk, bro, and he unloads on the front desk. I mean, I walk in there with him, and he just hammers the people at the front desk. He's like, you know, me and my wife, we're tired. We're trying to get back home, yada, yada, yada. And so they call this technician in. He comes into the entrance, opens up the gate, bro, pulls through, backs in his car up. He gets out. He looks at me and D-Lane, and he's like, hey, give me 15 minutes. I'm going to get this gate up, and I'm going to keep it up so everybody can just pull through here. So then the security guard, bro, he's like, no, you can't do that because then everybody gets out without paying. And we were like, bro, we ain't paying to park here anyway because of this little fiasco that just happened. So like, we're about to bounce. As soon as this gate opens up, we're bouncing. So next thing you know, this cat gets out of his car. He's 12 cars deep up the ramp. All right. He gets out of his car, Villanova shirt on. All right. So we already knew he was a loser. All right. So he gets out and he hollers, open the fucking gate. All right. I mean, dead serious. All right. And so we kind of like check him a little bit. And we're like, dude, what? Like, did he really just say that? So like, he's like, open the fucking gate. And so we're like, oh, he's like really about it, you know? So then the technician's like, sir, get back in your car. Get back in your car. And we're like, nah, like that ain't how you handle it, cuz. So D-Lane's like, hey, like who you talking to like that, you know? And so then he starts like approaching the technician, right? And the dude's like, hey man, get back in your car. So then he like comes down and he's like, I just saw you open the fucking gate. He's like, do it now. And so then I was like, hey, bro, like he's trying to do his job. Leave him alone. I was like, you ain't got to be an asshole about it, you know? Just straight up, like be a nice person, you know? No, he looks at me and he's like, who you talking to? Lane's like, hey, buddy, get your back in your vehicle now. You know, I mean, we're tip top living. I mean, this lady in her car, she has done got TikTok ready, rolled the window down, and she's ready to record, cuz. And finally, like, I'm not going to tell you everything else that was said because we are on camera, and I don't want to get too involved in us being on the Belly Up Sports Network, all that flagrant and profanity that was used when we walked by this gentleman's car going up the ramp after the gate opened. So we will leave that for another day. And we get in our car and we get out of there and we get up on the interstate and I look over and D-Lane is smooth asleep on me, DG.
Hey, you ain't got to tell me about that, bro. Me and that man went to Hoover like 3 years ago, or probably longer than that. And we had, for the SEC baseball tournament, we had to leave early because one of our buddies that drove had to get back home. And D was talking so much tonight, like, bro, I can stay awake all the way from Hoover to Mobile and back. So we got off the exit, pulled into a gas station. Dalton got him a little bag of them Bugle chips, ate him some Bugles, drank him a milkshake. I look back, no more than 3 minutes later. Hey, D, the score so-and-so. Man, it's sacked out.
Hey, I was sitting there talking to him for I probably had a 10-minute conversation with myself, and I look over and he's sound asleep, bro. And I was like, man, I really just talked to myself for 10 minutes, 10 solid minutes. Never checked the air or nothing. And this man's talking to himself. But we made it back. Hey, and then I forgot to mention, bro, it rained on me the whole way home, right? All the way through Mississippi, it rained, all right? So I finally get back to the Theodore Dawes exit, right? I pull up to the exit. I go to take my right-hand turn to go home, and this man lifts up like the Undertaker, cuz, oh, we're back home already? I was like, we're back home already. What are you talking about? You slept the whole way. Yeah, so he was out, man. But it was good times for real. I mean, it it was special. But you know, getting off the college game, man, I wanna talk a little bit about, we watch a little bit of NBA. I used to be really big into it, but now I've kind of backed off of it, and I've gotten into it since we started this podcast. I've gotten back into it a little bit more and just keeping up with it and watching a couple games here and there, and we started keeping up with the Lakers and if they were going to make the playoffs or the play-in games, I should say, and last night they were fighting for their life. All right, LeBron decides not to play, and I want to get both of your thoughts on would Michael Jordan have played in that situation last night? Would Michael Jordan have walked off the court with 20 seconds left while his team was losing? And, hey, their playoff lives were on the line. I'm not going to play. I'm going to walk off the court. I'm going to act like I don't care because I'm LeBron James. And it was just shocking to me. I'm going to give my thoughts on it because I'm going to roast his ass, honestly. But DG, I want to ask you first. What are your thoughts on LeBron James and his actions last night and pretty much this whole season?
Yeah, I didn't even really know much about it until earlier. I was scrolling through Twitter and I saw a thing a guy tweeted. It was like Laker fan of the game last night brought this sign. It was literally like somebody had gone to the concession stand and got a napkin or something and wrote on the sign,
Yeah.
"Hey LeBron, Kobe would have played tonight" or something like that. And I don't know, man. It's kind of crazy to me. It's like like he gets rid of these dudes. Like he makes sure people get traded. He makes sure certain people get brought in. And then like when things don't go his way, he gets mad. But it's like, I mean, like I'm not a LeBron hater. I'm not a LeBron fan. I don't care one way or the other. I mean, like the dude's still a superstar. Like he's still putting up crazy numbers and he's still doing his thing. But like you're supposed to be the leader of the team. Like you assembled this team of players. Like you're the reason they're all in LA. The least you could do is stay on the bench till the game's over. Like, hey, you got your ass kicked, tough season. You had injuries that didn't help. Like obviously injuries are a huge deal. I mean, like for example, look at the Warriors the last 3 years. Steph Curry gets hurt, they're the number 2 pick.
Yep.
Klay Thompson gets hurt, they lose the championship. KD gets hurt, they lose the championship. Right now, Steph Curry's out for the season till the playoffs. They were like 3 games out of first place. Now they're like 3 games out of second place. Like injuries happen, but it's like I don't know, man. It just seems like he makes everything by himself. A lot of whining all the time. And like I saw a thing earlier, like who would you like to play with next or something like that? Like why is this guy just getting to pick by who he gets to play for? Like why does he think? Why does everyone assume everybody wants to play with him? Like because obviously that's not the case. Steph Curry literally assembled a team 3 years ago. KD said, "Hey, you know what? Bump LeBron James. I'm gonna go play with this guy, Steph Curry." If LeBron's the best player in the world, then why aren't all these other superstars going to play with him? Sure, Anthony Davis is a superstar, but Anthony Davis is also he went to LA to say, hey, you know what? LeBron ain't gonna be here forever. When he retires, this will be my team. Russell Westbrook, old as dirt. He ain't been good since he left OKC. Carmelo Anthony, old as dirt. Ain't worth the crap. Like I can't even name the starting 5. To be honest with you, like you got rid of Kyle Kuzma. Kyle Kuzma was a stud. Like sure, he's not an all-star or a superstar, not a top 5 player in the NBA, but Kyle Kuzma was going to give you 15 to 20 points a game. Alex Caruso, everybody in the country loves him. Look, here's how I look at it. Look at Kyle Kuzma in Washington. I think he was an all-star, or if he wasn't, he had a good season. Alonzo was hooping for the freaking Bulls until he got hurt. Alex Caruso hooping for the Bulls. They had an opportunity to get DeMar DeRozan. The damn Bulls are about to be the 3 seed in the East. Like and LeBron said, you know what? Give me Westbrook and AD and my boy Carmelo, and we're gonna take this thing to the championship. But there ain't no way in hell. He saw that team on the roster on a piece of paper and said, you know what? Hey, we can compete with the Jazz. We can compete with the Warriors. We can compete with the Bucks. We can compete with the Nuggets. Like, come on, bro. Like,
that's a fact, man.
You can't do it by yourself, LeBron. You're 38 years old. Like 10 years ago, yes, you could take a team to the finals by yourself. It ain't happening no more. Everybody else got somebody that's just as big and just as good as you now. They can stick on you. That's going to give them 25, 30 points a game, 10 plus rebounds, 10 plus assists. I mean, look, Freaking Jokic looks like he's moving in slow motion and he's averaging a triple double. Like,
That's a fact.
so I don't know, man. It's like I said, I don't dislike LeBron. I'm also not like a huge LeBron fan, but I don't know. Man. I think it's more of a teammate thing. Like, you're supposed to be this superstar. You're supposed to be this big advocate and all this. You know, this people, all these basketball kids and players supposed to look up to. But what are they looking up to? Somebody who quits on a team, and you know, when the going gets tough, like that's what it shows to me.
That's a fact, man. I agree with that. D-Lane, what do you think about it, man?
Yeah, I think it's a I just think it's a coward move, honestly. I mean, I don't like kind of the same boat, you know. I mean, kind of I don't know. I always liked LeBron. I just feel like these last couple years, I think he's cared more like about the, the political side,
Yeah.
than playing basketball. And I mean, early in his career, I mean, the dude, I mean, still now, I mean, he's still, special talent. I mean, he's one of the greatest to ever touch, basketball. But it's just, I don't, I, it's hard to like the guy, now. I mean, just being,
Hmm.
I mean, just like D said, like you're supposed to be a leader, man. Like you don't walk off the court. Like I don't care if there's 2 seconds left. Like
Yeah.
you stay there and at least try to bring up your teammates. Say, hey, look, next year, might be a little different, whatever. But you don't just walk off the court and get ready to start trading people, or releasing them, in the free agency and stuff. So it's it's tough, it's a tough thing to see because me and you, well, especially you. I mean, you grew up with LeBron. I mean,
Yeah.
he was the the Sports Center cover athlete, the chosen one, and
Hmm.
so it's definitely it's just a crazy situation, man. Like the fact that it's like you don't care anymore, and it's like to me it's bad for the game of basketball, honestly. But I don't know. I don't kind of like D said, like I don't like him, but I don't dislike him. Um, I dislike his actions the past couple of years, but I mean, what else really? What else can you do? I mean, it's his life, it's his choices. You really can't tell him what he can and can't do. But I,
So here, here's my thing with it, man. All right. So like everybody that knows me knows, look, I was a 13-year-old kid. LeBron James come out. The dude was everything, man. Like he was, like you said, SI cover, the chosen one. Games were on ESPN with Melo in high school, St. Vincent St. Mary's versus Oak Hill. LeBron was playing. It felt like every night high school game on ESPN. Dick Vitale was covering it. It was he was like our Michael Jordan, and I loved him. I loved every minute of watching LeBron play. His first 7 years in Cleveland, I loved it. When he went to Miami, I loved it. I can remember the night of the decision. I put on Facebook. I remember what I even put on Facebook. That's how big of a LeBron fan I was. I said, "Get the hell out of Cleveland," and he ended up choosing Miami. And when he went back to Cleveland, I was happy. He finally won one for his hometown. And then he made the move to LA. And when he made the move to LA, so I feel like he made the move to LA for business. I never felt like he made the move to LA for basketball. I felt like it was straight business. It was Hollywood, Space Jam 2, for him to get his name into other businesses and investments and things like that. I never felt like it was solely about basketball. Okay. But then he started working to get Anthony Davis over there, right? And I was like, okay. I was like, here we go. Here's a piece. And he puts together a solid team. COVID hits. Look, I know a lot of people say it was a Mickey Mouse championship, but let's be honest, bro. They were the best team in the NBA that year, and it wasn't close at all. They were winning the West, and I mean, they were just absolutely scrubbing folks when COVID hit. And so they go down to the bubble. And look, I don't want to talk politics on the show, but they got down in the bubble and politics happened. And it just felt like from that point on, he's just acted different. And it hasn't been about basketball at all once he won that first chip in LA. Everything has been political with Nike and all that, the China stuff and you know the other things, and him voicing his opinion on certain matters. And like, don't get me wrong, like I get it, you're not just an athlete, but educate yourself on some things before you open your mouth. And then like you look on the basketball side of it, and like DG said, everything that he does, like he puts together. He put this team together. He picked Russell Westbrook over DeMar Rosen. Magic Johnson got on ESPN and said it himself. Hey, I had DeMar DeRozan in Los Angeles. I had him on the Lakers. And guess who said no? LeBron. He wanted Russell Westbrook. So now you're in this huge ass contract that nobody wants. I mean, nobody wants that Russell Westbrook contract. Nobody. All right. He's absolutely terrible now. And you can't trade anybody because you don't have the money and you can't move pieces. And so you put this team together and y'all suck. So now you just give up on them. You just flat out give up on them. You just walk off the court. I don't care anymore. We suck. It is what it is. All right. I guarantee you, bro, Kobe Bryant, like that sign said from that fan, Kobe Bryant shot free throws with a fucking torn
Achilles, bro. Thank you. Bro, thank you.
Torn Achilles.
Clay Thompson 3 years ago did the same thing with a torn ACL.
Yes, with a torn ACL, bro. And you're going to walk off the court with time remaining on the team that you assembled, and you're going to quit on them? Like, I'm no longer a LeBron fan. I'm really not. Like I put on Twitter this morning, he's a little bum. And it took me so long to realize it, but he turned into a straight up diva when he went to Los Angeles. He turned into a straight up diva, bro. And I can't stand him now. Like, I mean, hold on 1 second.
Tried to tell you years ago, KD was better.
Bro, I got LeBron's shoes, bro. I got LeBron's shoes. Hey, LeBron's shoes, bro. All right. I got 6 pair of them, 7 pair of them over here. All right. That tells you how big of a LeBron fan I was. And I can't pull for him anymore, man. Like everything that he does nowadays is it's so cringy. And as a former athlete, like there's no way I could just in the bottom of the 9th inning while I was playing college baseball, we're down 2 runs with 2 outs. There's no way I could have looked at my team and be like, hey, hell of a season, guys, but deuces. I'm not staying for this last out. I'm going to check out, and I'm going to take my shit and go get back on the bus, yo. So y'all have fun. Deuces to y'all. All right? No, bro. Like, we're riding to the end. And it's just, like, I watch some Lakers games and, like, kind of flip back and forth to them. And, like, I see AD sitting out, like he falls down. He's a freaking, I mean, he's built like a candlestick, bro. And I mean, he falls down and he breaks quicker than glass. I mean, and then he's sitting out when their playoff lives are on the line, and LeBron's sitting out. And like you said, DG, he traded Caruso and got, or he didn't trade him, but he got rid of him in free agency. KCP was one of their best defenders, man. And he just shipped him out. Hey, don't want him anymore. See ya. I mean, just, I don't know, man. It's aggravating because I used to love watching him play basketball, and now he is a straight up diva. But I did want to cover that, and I wanted both of your opinions on that. I think we all 3 agreed on it, and I loved every bit of talking about that. And now, you know, there's a really big tournament coming up this weekend in the game of golf. And there's a guy, all right? There's a guy, all right? He said, hey, I got in a wreck a couple months back. And this whole these whole past few months and year, basically, it feels like he has been working his ass off to get back in a position to play in the Masters. And I want to get D-Lane. I want to get your thoughts first on how big of a moment is this for a guy that they told that could possibly never play golf again, man. That they said that there was no way he could possibly walk 18 holes again. When this accident happened to his, they feared that he would never play again. How big of a moment is this going to be for Tiger Woods confirming that he is going to play in the Masters?
I think it's a big moment for him, but I'm not buying the hype. I don't think what I think he said, like, it doesn't hurt for him to swing, but it hurts for him to walk.
Yeah.
Like, and in professional golf, you got to walk. I mean, it's not like us on a Saturday. We get to joyride a golf cart, So, I mean, you got to walk 18 holes. And so for him to say that
Possibly for 4 days.
yeah, which he's only going to be there for Thursday. He's not even going to make the cut. So, but I think for him, I think it'll be a big moment knowing that, you had doctors. Obviously, they see, some of the best doctors in the world. So for, some of these doctors say, hey, man, like, you might not never be able to play golf again, be able to walk again. And then now that he's saying, hey, like, I'm going to the Masters, and even said that he thinks he can win it, which, hey, love the self-confidence, but you don't have my money. So that's but having Tiger, I mean, at the Masters, I mean, it's kind of like, it's kind of like Kobe not being with the Lakers, it's like it's good for the game of golf if Tiger's at the Masters. So
yeah,
it's but I mean, hey, I'll be tuned in watching, but I wouldn't put my money on him to win it. So or even make the cut. I wouldn't even put him to make the cut. So, but I'll let DG.
Hey, stick with me. Stick with me now. Stick with me, DG. What do you think
about Tiger or just the whole thing?
We'll start with Tiger, and then I'll come back to you and ask for your prediction.
All right, man. I think it's fantastic. I mean, like, I don't know if y'all follow the Masters on Twitter and Instagram, TikTok. Literally every video they've posted since Sunday has been Tiger Woods.
Yeah,
and not only is it just Tiger Woods, it's Tiger Woods, and then thousands of people following him around and watching him play golf in rounds that don't even matter, bro. Yeah. The electricity at that place the next 2 days for sure while he is there are going to be through the roof. We might hear him roar here, and we're 5-6+ hours away.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying. Here's my thing. I'm not saying Tiger Woods is going to win this golf tournament. I'm not saying that. Tiger Woods is not showing up if he don't think he can win this golf tournament. And that's not just him saying it. Tiger Woods is too damn good of a golfer to be, you know what? I'm just showing up to just be here. Hell no. Tiger Woods is coming in there because he thinks and he knows, hey, I know this golf course better than anybody here. I've won this bitch 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm here, everybody feels when I'm here. Guess what? Who's everybody talked about all week? Tiger Woods. Going to Scotty Scheffler. No one player in the world has won 3 of the last 5 events. Nobody. We forgot him. Jordan Spieth, trying to get over the demons on 12. Rory McIlroy is going for the career Grand Slam. Justin Thomas, John Rahm, Colin Morikawa. Like, they're trying to cement themselves as like all-time greats. The big cat walks onto the course. Big cat walks down Magnolia Lane. Everybody say, hey, guess what? We don't need to talk about them guys no more. The main event, the main event's here. So I think Tiger. I'm not saying he's gonna win it. Tiger Woods will be in the mix on Sunday. In the red.
Oh man.
In the red. I'm telling you.
I hope it didn't impact the red because he won't be there on Sunday.
And I won't be shocked. I won't be shocked if he don't win it. He ain't showing up to just shake hands and high five and wave at people.
All right.
But he's not my pick to win.
All right, plus 5,000 odds. All right, he's at plus 5,000 to win the Masters, right? Not bad money to lay on that. Okay,
yeah. So $10.
What I'm gonna say, not bad money. This is not gambling advice, but not a bad idea to throw it on him because, like DG just said, he ain't showing up if he don't think that he can win it. All right. The first question they asked him, Tiger, do you think you can win the Masters? He said, without a doubt. All right.
Yeah.
He
He
never
didn't give you explanation either. It was quick. He said, "I do."
Yeah, I do, without a doubt. I don't want to hear anything else. Like, I believe in my golf game. That's it. All right. The walking scares me a little bit. He's like, but yeah, I believe I can win. That's it. All right. So I think this is absolutely huge for golf. Okay. Like, I think him being back in the tournament is just extraordinary for golf. All right. Golf still needs Tiger Woods. Okay. Because, like I said about LeBron James, man, when I was growing up, like Tiger was golf, and he still is golf. And he was just this monumental figure that has raised the game of golf even more in the United States. All right. It is, I mean, look at us three. I mean, that's what we want to do on Saturdays now is go play golf, you know? I mean, and Tiger Woods is the reason for that. He grew this game. And I mean, all the commercials growing up with him. I mean, he was the first man to hit a golf ball on the moon. You know, I mean, so, you know, I mean, it's just all that good stuff, man. And him just all the big shots and like DG said, the Masters wins and the historical moments at the Masters and the Nike red on Sunday and just everything that we want, man. Just hearing his name there and then seeing the drone shot, all right, on 18 in the practice round and the packed house, all right, the packed house. You see it, man. I mean, it's just absolutely incredible. But his legs scare me. All right. His legs scare me. I don't think he's 100%. I don't think he's going to be in contention. And I think he might withdraw from the tournament. Just because I don't know if he can hold up just yet, you know, because it's like really hard to come back from stuff like that, man. Like, it's just so difficult. Maybe if he had been playing like a couple weeks earlier, like in some bigger tournaments and stuff, and like just competing a little bit on that stage, but like all that off time and just all of a sudden you're back at the Masters, all the hype's on you, and just uh, 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 I'm sure he's 10 fingers younger. Yeah, bro, look, I put my freaking money all on you. But now up in age, I just I'm not sure. I'm not so sure that he makes it to the tournament. I think he might withdraw himself from the tournament. And I hate to say that, but D-Lane, I know D-Lane. Who is your dark horse to win the Masters, bro? Because I mean, I'm kind of with you. Like I know DG's. I know he's got a pick hammered, ready to go. But I'm kind of floating with you. What is your dark horse?
Well, I don't follow. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say like I'm not, die hard in the game of golf, so I really don't
Yeah.
know like all the people. But I think I'm gonna rock with the young one and go that Will Zalatoris. I like him.
Hey,
I
like
like
I
him.
said, hey, finished second last year, didn't he? DG he finished second last year, didn't he?
Yeah, second or third. Yeah.
Yeah, second or third, something like that. I
Yeah.
knew he was in it to win it last year. All right. He was right there. But I'm with D-Lane. I like that Will Zalatoris. He looks awfully similar to Trevor Wallace. Don't know if he's as funny, but I like his golf game, and I like him to win it. DG, the moment of truth. Who do you like to win the 2022 Masters?
Well, I actually I'm real quick before I say my like legit winner. So
No, go ahead.
on the Masters app, like I don't know if y'all have downloaded the Masters app. It might be the most glorious app of all time. Like you can literally, it's like tomorrow when round one starts. If I wanted to, I could watch the Masters on the Masters app and FaceTime call both of y'all at the same time, and we could group watch it together. It's incredible.
I'm downloading it.
And then
What's that
you can
called?
also it's called Masters 2022.
I'm downloading it.
And then there's also a fantasy game on there where you could pick 4 golfers for the week. You could pick a first time player in the Masters, a previous champion, an American, and an international player. And like obviously like birdies are starting around points, like throughout the whole entire weekend. Like last year I picked Will Zalatoris as my first person, first time player. I picked Spieth as my past champion, Justin Thomas as my American, and Victor Hovland as my international. And I think in the little group we were in, like with my buddies from that I play golf with, I think I beat him by like 40 points because Spieth tied for second, Zalatoris tied for third, JT came up strong on Sunday. Hovland had a good weekend, so I just submitted my picks for that this year, and so this had nothing to do with who I think is going to win. This is just based off that. So I have Sam Burns as my first time Masters guy. He's not an amateur, and he's won I think once or twice already this year. Big Spieth guy, so I roll with Spieth again as a previous champ. I think even when Spieth's playing terrible, like right now he's been kind of all over the place putting, which is usually a strong suit. I think he's almost as course savvy at the Masters as Tiger Woods. Like he shows up this week, he could be the worst golfer in the world. When he shows up in Augusta, he's all of a sudden the best golfer in the world. Like he's played. I saw a thing the other day, which is kind of a stupid stat. Once I really looked into it and read about it, but it was since 2016 or 14, whenever his first Masters was, he's outscored. He's beaten 97.4% of the people that have played in the Masters. He's only lost to 4 other people, with combined scores. And every year, man, he might have a terrible one day, but it's all of a sudden he'll go 7 under and he's right back in the mix. And then for my American, I roll with Justin Thomas. I think Justin Thomas is eventually going to crack through. He's got to crack. Yeah. He's got one major. People consider him one of the best players in the world, but it's he just can't quite seem to get through the last little bit and win a big sure, you win the U.S. Open, you win the British Open, you win the PGA Championship, bro. Nothing in comparison to winning the Masters. You win the Masters, you remember forever. Yes, big time golfers remember. Golf fans will remember who won Open championships and U.S. Opens and all that. But there's if you haven't seen the pictures from the Masters champion dinner, there's only a select few guys in there. There's not 150 different dudes. There's 35 maybe. The Masters is, I don't know how old the Masters is, but it's been around for a good while. And then my international pick, I think he's the hottest international guy in the world right now. I'm not a big Jon Rahm guy. I think he's maybe the most overrated golfer in the world at this time. So I went with Cam Smith from Australia as my international pick. He just won the Players about a month ago. He's hitting it good, man. He puts lights out. So I look to him to have a good weekend. But as far as my overall, I'm gonna give you 2. I'm gonna give him a dark horse, kind of like y'all did, and I'm gonna give who I think is. I'm gonna give you 3. I'm gonna give you who I think is gonna win, who I like to see win, and then dark horse. So dark horse winner, I'm gonna say Kevin Kisner. I think Kisner puts the ball well enough, and he's coming off the match play a couple weeks ago, played really well. He's not a particularly long guy. He's not gonna hit the ball a mile, but he doesn't make a ton of mistakes. And if you can putt well in Augusta, you got a good chance of winning. So dark horse, Kevin Kisner. I don't think he really has much. I mean, when I say dark horse, I'm thinking 20th, 5th, way down the back. Who I'd like to win, man. I'm a huge Jordan Spieth guy. I love Jordan Spieth, so I'd love to see Jordan Spieth win. But the guy I think who's gonna win it, and this might be I'm not gonna say controversial. It's not gonna be. Is Horns down? Yeah, Horns down. This is probably my second favorite golfer, and a lot of people don't like him because he's a cocky prick. But I like Brooks Koepka, man. I think Brooks Koepka. I think he gets back on the winning ways, man. He had that stretch. He had that stretch from 17 to 19 where he won 4 majors, man. I think he's finally back healthy from his leg injury last year. I mean, he competed last year with having to get down to Spider-Man stance to read a putt. So I mean,
was Bryson the reason for that leg injury? Because Brooks did not want those uh-ohs. I can tell you that. All right.
I mean, here's my thing. Bryson DeChambeau's got 1 major championship. Brooks Koepka's got 4. So hey, let me look in your trophy case, and we'll see we'll determine who's the better golfer. But like I said, maybe it's a crazy pick. I feel but Brooks Koepka seems like that kind of guy, man. He has a chip on his shoulder, and there's been literally zero talk about Brooks Koepka winning the Masters. No one talking about Brooks Koepka. I think he's kind of flying under the radar. He's like that. He shows up when he's kind of like that guy. I mean, he literally said it 3 years ago. Bro, I don't care if it's not a major. I don't give a crap. If it's just a regular tournament, yeah. If I win, great. If not, whatever. If it's the majors, I'm showing up to kick y'all's ass. And I think he shows up. this week, starting tomorrow, and he wins it wire to wire. I don't think he ever even trails. He takes the lead tomorrow, and he holds it Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So
Wow.
he might not even make the damn cut. Hell, I don't know. But I'm rolling Brooks Koepka.
Hey, there you have it, folks. All right. The golf man, the golf guru. All right.
No.
He's better than all of us at it. All right. Absolute stud. Hey, and big shout out to this guy. All right. I want to throw this in here before we get out of here. All right. He has led his middle school baseball team to the regular season championship. All right. The Sims Middle School Bulldogs. They took down Grand Bay?
Yep.
They took down Grand Bay Middle 5-2, I think it was, right? And to win the regular season championship. They will be competing in the postseason coming up here. When is that, DG?
Monday semifinals. Thursday will be the finals.
Who do y'all got in the semis?
I don't know yet. It's gonna be between Hankins, Clark, or Phillips. If I had to guess, I'd say Hankins, but I don't know for sure.
All right, so Monday, they will be going in the semifinals. We will let everybody know, update it. DG in his first year as head coach, and like I told y'all before, I played at Sims Middle School, and we were the first ever baseball team at the school, and we won it in our first year. We beat UMS Wright, took them down 4-3 in the championship game in the first ever county little region championship middle school game. So pretty cool that DG is now there. And I mean, just that's awesome stuff, man. So congrats to you. And another thing I want to say is us three, man. We've only, this is our 65th episode. Okay, as a group, we started this thing back in December. We talked about it in 2021 so much, and we finally got it up off the ground in December of 2021. Like I said, we're 65 episodes in, and we're with Belly Up Sports Network. It just seems surreal that they give us an opportunity. They listen to our content, and they signed us up, and we are just trying to give you guys what you want to hear, and just push good content and talk about sports and give our opinions, and hopefully you like them. And if you do, we're at Spotify podcast. Go give us a 5-star review, and we're at Apple Podcast. Go give us a 5-star review there. You can catch us on Belly Up Sports Network. Go to the website. We have merch available at the website. Check that out, man. They got Notre Dame, Ohio State, Auburn, Alabama, everybody, man. I mean, it's really cool merch that you could check out. So we are in the process of coming up with a design right now. I was talking to them today, us getting a Florida design for DG, and us getting a little Auburn design with the Belly Up logo and everything. And we start selling our merch with them, and we can go from there, because I know a couple people want some Alabama stuff and Auburn stuff. So we're trying to get that worked out. That's the reason we closed down the other merch store. And so we are trying to get that going with Belly Up. So we just want to really thank them and push that. And we are extremely excited to be with the network, and it has been an absolute blast. Tomorrow, I have reached out to Wake Forest. D-Lane, how about them Capitals? My buddy, up 4-2 right now.
Wow.
But one second here. I'm sorry. I reached out to Connor O'Neill, and if most of you do not know him, he is the publisher, and he's the publisher at Deacons Illustrated. So he is big with Wake Forest football and all sports Wake Forest, I should say. But we will be going tomorrow at 4:00. I'll be interviewing Connor, and we will be talking about Wake Forest and Sam Hartman. All right, one of our favorite quarterbacks that we have followed. I followed him all the way from QB1,
Yep.
and yeah, I mean, just absolutely enjoyed every second of his college career. And I'm so excited to do this interview tomorrow. And Connor, man, was excellent. When I messaged him, he hit me right back. Was like, "Hey, I'm actually in the middle of doing Wake Forest's pro day, and as soon as I get done here, I got to go cover the Final Four." And then when I get done here, I got to get back to Wake Forest and deal with some stuff there. And then we'll get this thing worked out. I messaged him today. He said, how about tomorrow at 4:30, and we'll hammer it down. I said, appreciate you, man. And that's pretty much it, man. I'm super excited, and I love doing this with y'all, man. So I really appreciate y'all joining me. And, we'll hop up here probably – do a Masters recap or something, a little SEC baseball coming up soon. So what do y'all feel about that?
That's good, bro. I'm all about it.
All right, man. Well, hey, until next time, I'll catch y'all and we're out. Deuces.
See you, fellas.
See you.
All right, boys.